So, folks, welcome to episode number three, part of TGV Untold Side of the Mind. This is a specially curated series that we are doing with our beloved Yogi Sanjeevana ji, and hearty welcome everyone. And as part of this series, we delve deep into the fascinating and lesser known aspects of human mind. So today, I'm thrilled to have back with us a repeat guest who never fails to inspire and enlighten, Yogi Sanjeevana. He's from Sri Lanka. He's not just a celebrated yogi, but also a thinker and mind expert whose deep understanding of the mind-body connection has transformed countless lives across the globe. So, in this series, we will explore myths, truths, and powerful practices related to the mind, bringing you practical wisdom to enhance your everyday life. So, in the last episode, we have discussed wholesome mind, and today is our third episode. And in the very first episode, we spoke about the untold side of the mind, the myths about the mind, right? So, we are here today to cover more details around the power of mind. So, Yogi Sanjeevana, welcome back to TGV. And in our last session, we discussed the wholesome mind. And for our new viewers, since we are doing this live, could you briefly summarize a key takeaway from that discussion?
Okay. So thank you so much, Naveen. It's great to be back and always a pleasure to be here. So nice and so well organized, and with now even better and better technology, and it's getting better and better. So nice to see. Uh, so we covered two topics actually, no? It's like first
Yeah,
part was like introduction and then of the mind, and then it was like second one was like about the wholesome mind. So
yeah,
uh, this is something we can, or even we can say we should know about our own minds. So by knowing about the positive factors, uh,
hmm,
like we discussed last time, uh,
yeah,
what we can do is we can get the maximum usage, or even yeah, uh, we can get the benefits actually from the wholesome mind state. So we get to understand the mind as
hmm,
well as we see the positives of the mind, and then we can enhance those and bring it to sorry, or even back to no, if it had gone down, we can bring it up again and get the maximum, not even use, we can say benefits, no, because
yeah,
we are entitled to those things because this is
hmm,
what we are.
right. I get it. So now let's talk about today's topic, okay, which is about the power of the mind. So please define the true power of the mind. And I'm curious, is it about control, awareness, or something deeper?
Uh, y- uh, there's a saying, Naveen, like mind is a bad master,
Mm-hmm.
but yet a very good servant.
Mm-hmm.
We'll use the term servant. So it's just example, right? So
Yeah.
uh, our mind is like the sun. It's
Mm-hmm.
so vast, so powerful. Uh, so,
Yeah.
but we take very little use out of this, yeah, because the sun has so much energy, no, and so much things. So yeah, the plants grow, a lot of things happen, but we ourselves will take minimum usage of the sun, no.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe to dry some clothes, or just to have sunny day, vitamin D maybe, or
Yeah.
something like that. But uh, yes, the awareness is one of the key factors. Yeah? And uh, you can you can go to any goal or destination you seek. Either it
Yeah.
can be material, mental, or spiritual, uh, because the mind is the one like that can take you actually to even a bad place while you are alive, or
Mm-hmm.
if you believe in past future lives or past lives. Yeah, then mind is the place, and mind is the place that lets you meet God also, or Brahman, no? Or
Yeah.
even different religions, different traditions talk of different ultimate goals. But mind is the one that helps you get there. Not body, we cannot take it there, right? Body also
Absolutely.
definitely helps, but mind is the one. Huh? So they
Yeah.
give different names. So uh, even even in positive factors, even life goals and all these things. So we can uh, we have the power to change it towards that direction. For
Okay.
example, say the water is very powerful, right? Uh, and it has so much like it's in a flow, and it has so much power and possibility in the
Mm-hmm.
water, right? So, but if it's diverted wrongly, that can bring up disasters, floods, or anything, no?
Yeah.
Landslides, lot of things. But if it's diverted properly and correctly, you can even cultivate crops, get the harvest, electricity, and all these things. So we when we say control, we can use the terminology, but actually what we are doing is we are diverting that energy to a proper direction and getting the benefits of it.
Wonderful. I love the metaphor here. Superb. So, Sanjeevana, can you also share an example of a time when you witnessed the mind overcoming extraordinary odds, wherein you felt, okay, this is a difficult situation initially, but you are able to successfully overcome?
Uh, Within myself,
Yeah.
uh,
Yourself or any other example also, that is fine. Somebody around you also.
okay. So I would like to talk about like maybe first outside, no, some other
Yeah.
people, maybe because we see, there are people with disabilities. They
Yeah.
go for the Paralympics, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but we see like able-bodied people, they just give up, and even sometimes the worst of scenarios, they try to end their lives also. So you see the differentiation, no? It's not the
Yeah.
physicality of what we have, uh, it's about the mind frame also. These
Yeah.
people are so, how to say, so strong in mind. They compete in Olympic levels, no?
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people who are like well built, everything is there, uh, uh, in a good way, no? The
Yeah.
physical things as well as material things, everything, but their mind becomes so weak, they won't even end their lives. So, yeah, we see in my uh, in personal experience, you could see like you put your body to the test, you put your
Mm-hmm.
mind to the test, and then you do a lot of fasting, lot of things, and sometimes when you're very sick, or I had like I almost died like two times. So you could, and then through meditation, especially, you can see
Mm-hmm.
the power of the mind. And sometimes you can just the food and all, water and all. When you do very long fasting, you can see how the mind sustains, and especially in meditation, Naveen, you
Mm-hmm.
can see like the wholesome mind, not the unwholesome. The
Yeah.
unwholesome mind just drains you off, which we'll talk in another topic, right? So
Right.
wholesome mind that can give you energy, sometimes sustaining you for days, even
Right.
without food,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are mental factors in it, and in ancient scriptures also these are said there. And then beings like deities and all, and some yogis and practitioners, they just sustain. For example, there are mind characteristics called rapture or piti that gives energy. Huh? In
Mm-hmm.
ancient times, it says piti bakka bhavisati. Their food became this factor, mind factor, and they could travel through the sky and do a lot of things. Huh?
Yeah.
So the not only the physical food, but the mind. And in some traditions and all, they say like what we eat is just one part,
Mm-hmm.
but there are three parts associated, uh, like food, uh, like we say food, no, for the mind. So three from four, only one is the one we eat as solid food, but other all three are associated with the mind. That's why sometimes when we are angry also, no, I don't want to eat anything, no. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then but still you keep going. But when you are very happy, sometimes no, the food can wait. Not that you're upset or something. And then there are some people who have done like very heroic things in very harsh conditions, uh, and to save many people. And in themselves even, and you cannot believe those stories, no? The willpower, the mind power.
Right. Wonderful. All right. So it is always my pleasure to talk to you because you have gained so much of deep expertise on this particular topic, and it is always mind blowing to hear your thoughts. So, Sanjeevana, in today's fast paced world, how can individuals harness the power of their minds? Because clarity is important, right? And wherein we have a lot of chaos outside, right? In terms of too many distractions, social media, all the devices. So, amidst all these things, how can we harness the power of mind?
Or I would say like because meditation teachers, it's meditation seems the closest way, Navi. Huh?
Okay. Mhm.
Because uh, say a soft copy or a written form. Now we have computers and all this, no? But we see our attention span keeps reducing, and
Right.
we
Right.
depend on technology. Those days, people used to like they could memorize scriptures, like
Right.
vast amount of books, no, by heart. But now we depend on a computer, and we put those scriptures also in a computer on or on the internet, and we just type it or Google it, no? And
Right.
then, but that makes us more actually dumb, right? Dumber, right?
Yeah.
Uh, because we don't have in here, no? So if the machine is not there, if the internet is not there, if there's no electricity, we are done for, right?
Yeah.
Because we are depending on that. So, but what happens is, yeah, we need a way that works fast, huh? Because we cannot, people cannot do for ages or decades, no, or
Yeah.
lifespans. If they can, that it will be very nice. But in the modern society, we need something fast, and that also to get the experience of it.
Okay.
So meditation and all these kind of things seems the way. Like, and when you get it through experience now, you don't forget it. Even a bad experience, even if our parents told it or if it was written thousand times in a book, sometimes okay, maybe it won't happen for us. But if it happens to us, uh, say child, you will fall, don't do that, no. And then but when we hit the floor or something, or like then we understand what they told was also so true, right? So then, when experience-wise, it stays, and if it's a wholesome experience, that would be perfect. So in a modern, high-paced society, I think the best way would be like fast, but in an experiential way.
Mhm. Got it. So meditation and some practice is essential. Wonderful. So let's move forward. Can you share three simple and practical tips, okay, that you would recommend to improve mental resilience? Again, resilience is very, very important because people are treating failures as fatal because there is a lot of show off happening on social media,
Mhm.
right? Instagram stories and all other stuff, right? So somebody thinks, okay, I may be not performing at a level where my peers are performing or people in the community are performing. So in this situation, I'm sure mental resilience is essential. So share with us the three simple and practical tips to improve the mental resilience.
Everywhere in psychology, spirituality, religion-wise, everywhere it says, or in professional aspects,
Hmm.
mindfulness. That's a key factor. You can get through a lot of things if you're mindful. Even if you are going to do like a very harsh thing, also if you are mindful, you can just, oh no, I'm not going to do this, no. Then you
Hmm.
come to your senses. So likewise, mindfulness, it's considered as like the big tasker's footprint uh, in the jungles or in like places like Africa and all. There are these mighty taskers, right? In our
Yeah,
countries, also we have big taskers. Uh, the, then within this is a huge footprint, and within that you can place any kind of animal's footprint, right? Even
yeah,
the lion's footprint or a human footprint, even the little uh, birds and all, they also can place their footprint. So likewise, the mindfulness covers all aspects. Huh? That's a great one. And then having at least small breaks, that's a key factor. People get
Okay.
burnt out. Many people come and talk to us also now, and
Mm-hmm.
everything. Even if it's very sad, like you see little children also, they are also having now
Right.
kind of like burned out. Before we didn't even hear like this, no, unless it was a very exceptional case. But now children are getting burnt out. This should be the time that they should be the most happiest, right?
Right.
Yeah, carefree, all these things. But they are so caught up in studies or parents pressuring them, and they feel burned out. So think if they become adults, how much, right? So having at least small breaks while you are even working, huh? Or just if possible, just go to a if there's a garden nearby, or just a stroll around somewhere, just to like release it, huh?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Just a little break from whatever we are doing, no good things even. And then one of the best ways is like building a strong mind. I mean,
Okay.
a positive mind uh, that in a very strong state, it can endure a lot of things. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because the weak mind is what happens is like it try to absorb even the things that is happening outside. Huh? So if these factors work together, mindfulness, having little breaks, even if it's at home, no,
Yeah.
the whole family can get together, watch something nice, or just have a laugh and no chat, just to like release it, no, and it connects everything. And then definitely at some point we should understand we all need a very strong mind, because
Mm-hmm.
we cannot depend on external things themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if we have it here in our minds and hearts, then we will be able to endure any kind of situation.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So it's time for us now for a something exciting, which means the rapid fire round. And I'm going to throw out a few words, and I want you to respond with the first thought or insight that comes to your mind. If you're ready, let's get started.
Okay.
Okay. So today I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay, instead of words. A mantra that changed your life.
Oh, there was a beautiful one. I even put it as my how to say screensaver, or once
Mhm.
it was screensaver as well as the what do you say, the picture on the phone. Uh, so it says like if you are tired, learn to rest and not to quit. So even in our
Mhm.
meditation practice, we are practicing very hard, even more than 12
Mhm.
hours per day. All of us, like, no, very hard. So, but there are some places you feel sick or tired or no, uh, something comes up, and then, but even in day-to-day life and all also, uh, we should never quit good things. But we can learn how to rest. Uh, then it takes us even through a long journey, right?
Yeah. Okay. And a morning ritual that you never miss.
Definitely meditation.
I know that. Okay. One book on the mind you highly recommend to someone.
Oh, there was a beautiful book which helped me actually, and at some point it would like give me a slap on the cheek also. Really, like I was like, "What is this?" And then how can you say like I was like arguing with the book also, no? And then in the next chapter it would like say, "Look at this." So there was a nice book called "Happiness of a Beautiful Mind." It was
Mm-hmm.
very practical, very soft, but
Hmm.
like very nicely said. Happiness of a beautiful mind.
Okay. And my next question is a common myth about meditation.
Uh, yeah, one big one is Naveen. It's like
Mm-hmm.
people get uh, psychological problems through meditation. Huh? Yeah, yeah. Like some people really believe in that. Even in our societies, they used, at some point it seems like they used to believe. And
Mm-hmm.
but there also usually people who didn't practice actually. So
I see.
yeah, yeah. They think like
Okay.
psychological diseases, but no, it's the
Okay.
opposite. Actually.
Okay. And my next one is the most misunderstood aspect of the mind.
Because that we have to be stuck somewhere. It
Mm-hmm.
could be emotionally, or in some situation in life or somewhere, or something
Mm-hmm.
that we keep some trauma,
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. We have to get stuck, and and uh, we cannot have any kind of like say or something to do with it. We just have to get stuck there, and some people just sink with it. It's very sad to see also. Uh, Sad in the wise, like they should not know, like they don't have to be like that, right? They can be
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
happier, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have one crazy question. Okay. So if you want me to ask that, I will go ahead and ask, and you feel free to skip it. If okay, shall I go ahead? Okay. Okay. So what if money grows on trees? Right? What would people use wallets for?
Maybe fertilizer. I heard, yeah, because I'm not telling we live in a monetized society and no people need it, right? But I
Yeah.
heard like there was a teacher,
Yeah.
in very good teacher, very powerful one. He said like
Mhm.
at some point if somebody says like from today chicken dung
Hmm. Hmm.
is my
Hmm. Hmm.
currency, he
Right.
was like saying like think of the heaps of chicken dung people would start collecting, right? Really, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
likewise, like yeah, but everything seems to depend on this, and some people are even falling into trouble
Hmm.
because of
Okay.
this. And but if it was like, I think if it was, hopefully, if it was like that, it would be better, maybe. Like if
Yeah.
it and they need to fertile the soil, not like fight each other or not do this kind of crazy things over money,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it will like enrich the earth and trees will grow, not many things.
I loved it. So that's why there is a bonus crazy question. So imagine there will be no internet from tomorrow, and you have only just 10 hours left to access the internet. So what will you do in these 10 hours? That is the last chance to use internet.
Then maybe send the message on how to like heal your heal yourself, heal
Mm-hmm.
yourself, or
Mm-hmm.
like good messages to help people.
Mm-hmm.
They say like when distraction stages also come, I am not as such, but
Mm-hmm.
as humans also we can do, no? Like
Right.
the deities and all, they come and like warn humans and say like
Mm-hmm.
there's something happening, be careful, no? Or what you can do afterwards. So if we can like give them 10 hours is a long time, right? So
Yeah.
we can now spread the message also in a big way of how to work afterwards, uh, even without internet, right?
Yeah.
In a very positive way. I think people will have a lot of time also on their hands, no?
So one problem which I'm seeing is people are getting so addicted to mobile phones,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've seen common trends of single-hand driving, which means one hand is for phone and one hand they are
Mm.
driving when they are riding these bikes and also, which is quite
Why?
dangerous. So I
In the
wish,
helmet, in the helmet also they put the phone
yeah,
and
that is little better compared to
better.
holding
Oh,
with their
okay.
hand, right? So which is
Uh-huh.
extremely dangerous. And
In
that
foreign
too, that
countries
is one
also, no?
violation. Second violation is they're riding in the opposite direction. Okay, so these are all crazy things which we have to put an end. I wish something comes, okay, which is going to replace this. All right,
Uh-huh.
so after that amazing rapid fire and crazy round of questions, let's flip back. So, Yogi Sanjeevana, the mind, right, often gets stuck in patterns of negativity. So, what strategies do you suggest to break free from this? How can we avoid negative thinking or negative patterns?
Uh-huh. So we have to select a way that is the opposite pattern actually,
Hmm.
through the miracle,
Okay.
because it had been happening for some time and we cannot expect miracles also to happen overnight. If it happens, it's perfect. But we have been cultivating it for, if you do the comparison, the time we were doing the opposite with the now maybe the positive uh, is more usually. uh, and then the
Yeah.
time within the day also, we the positive part, say we have, maybe we do, if you practice for 1 hour, there's 23 hours, right? So the comparison is a bit large. But what happens is, like, when within this darkness, if you uh, light a match, uh, then darkness disappears. No, there's a very nice thing like that. Sometimes darkness, it takes a time to grow, and like shroud you, like cover you up. But what happens is, but just a speck of light can just send it away. Then if you
Yeah.
lit a candle, it's more. If it's a light, it's more. Likewise, more the power source and the light, further it goes. So there's a pattern. Naveen, like, if you turn a bicycle upside down and then rotate the wheel into one direction, say it's rotating very fast, because we are like tapping it again and again, and it's
Hmm.
rotating so fast, it doesn't automatically happen, right?
Yeah.
So we are like tapping it and it goes like super fast. If you try to poke your finger or arm, sometimes it also can get twisted. So we have to use the energy that is more stronger, just to grab hold of it. Huh? Then afterwards turn it like the rocket leaving the gravity, right? It needs a massive force, right? But after it passes that, no problem. Like that, bicycle is much more simpler, right? So if you grab hold of it, because we have been rotating it for decades, maybe from the childhood. So if we feel like, okay, this is hurting, or this is like too much or stressful, then we there's only two directions, not like thousand directions, right? Bicycle wheel also either this side or that side, right? So
Yeah.
then if you grab a hold of it, and you can use lesser energy and turn it to the opposite side. But
Mm.
soon as it starts rotating in the opposite direction, you just have to go tap and go, tap and go, tap and go. It's very easy.
Right.
Just like the same process we are doing now, but in the opposite direction. We just
Hmm.
have to divert all this energy into that direction only. That's why things like in meditation, we just take one object and let everything happen with that object.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, got it. And also, mind is often described as a gateway to higher consciousness, right? So, how can one begin their journey of exploring this dimension of higher consciousness?
Uh, there are different ways. So in ancient uh, teachings and all, Navi, it's
Hmm.
clearly explained. There's the unwholesome mind, then there are
Yeah.
wholesome mind stages. There are specific things we can do. For example, helping people, like stopping maybe some bad habits we have. Uh,
Okay.
or we can like go to this, how to say, the stir up part, and there are practices to like reduce the stir up inside. And even people can go into deeper stages of concentration. So these are explained, like for example, it's like one step after the other, or like planes, no, like platforms. You can elevate yourself uh, on different higher stages. But our mind has the tendency to fall upon usually the negatives. It's so used to that. So you have to like uplift it. There are specific practices. uh, and then what
Hmm.
happens is, for example, if somebody is in some huge addiction, they can, okay, understand at some point, or with the help of friends, or some people who can really help them, they can understand this is harmful, this is deadly, uh, or it's disrupting everything, my life, people around me, and they can elevate themselves from there to a higher state, right? From that addiction, and then everything starts becoming better. Yeah. And then after that, they can think, okay, like, now I'm free of this, why not I become, uh, make my mind more peaceful or happy, and they can, okay, like start helping people maybe. And some people actually do, who came out of trauma situation. There are many coaches I meet like that. They're wonderful people. So they felt this, they healed themselves, and then they are now trying to help other people also. Some people who just came from like very traumatic situations, And then there are specific practices that can make the mind more happy, more peaceful, more strong, and take you to higher elevations according to your goals or even destinations or religious beliefs or spiritual uh, admirations or anything. Yeah?
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So, are there any misconception about the mind's spiritual potential that you would like to address?
Yeah, surely. Yeah. Uh, there are, I'm not like pointing fingers or anything. Yeah? These are things I also came across. And
Okay.
I studied many types of religions, practices, methods, and now I'm open to all. So, and I understand it's a universal thing, and we all are humans. So we are working with a body and a mind, and yeah, surely there's like God and all these things. Uh, wholesome things, and so one is like people think we are destiny bound.
Mm-hmm.
We are destiny. Worst is like, okay, if everything is positive, no problem. But now, if it's negative, if you just say like it's my destiny, you can see many people with uh, big effort. There were people who just dug through a mountain, right, and made a road for the whole community.
Right.
Who just took like some simple tools and dug a lake for people or generations ahead. So if they just thought, oh my goodness, like we all are dying because we don't have transportation or like we don't have water, and they just stood saying that this is my destiny, this is our people's destiny, and people of the same communities would ridicule them, saying they are even like some psychiatric problem with them. But later they understood how now they are like deities, no? So in some places they make statues of these people and venerate them now as like local gods also after they even pass away. So one is like destiny, and another one is 100% karma bound.
Mm-hmm.
100% karma bound. So it is another version of like destiny wise. Uh, okay, there is past karma we have done, but not only the negatives, right? There are the positives. So we can actually, okay, we have a big impact of karma, surely, but we can change it. Even, okay, like we were talking about compost and all, right? Fertilizer. So fertilizer is like the things how to say, we remove, right?
Yeah.
The leftovers or the food or anything, the degradable things. And it is even like dung, no? Or it can be even excreta for that matter. Not that we turn it into fertilizer, but when it goes somehow, when it goes to the earth, it becomes like fertilizer for the earth, no?
Yeah.
So likewise, even the negatives, it can be turned into positives, and it's workable. And the positives, you can upgrade it into very high levels. It's not just okay. This is my karma. I just stay in this level. No, 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 no. And then uh, some people believe we cannot change who we are or what we are. We are kind of like stuck there. This
Mm-hmm.
is how we are. Like this is what I am. No, like we have the potential even to go to the highest peaks of things. It sometimes it can be material, but sometimes it can be materially. It can be a poor person, but say some people really like on purpose they renounce things, right, and go to the
Yeah.
forest not because they are helpless or like very poor, no, out of poverty. These are like princesses, no, prince and kings and all people like that, even from rich families. Uh, I'm just telling it as example. And then what happened? Like they went to very high peaks of the mind or even spiritual aspects. But some people think, okay, this is how I should be, and I'm stuck here. And some
Okay.
there's a way we speak like that, but we think we have control of the mind, or we should get the control. No, now we are also like the water. Say a
Mm-hmm.
person opens the floodgates or like the gate of a irrigation system, and maybe this irrigation gate itself was made by their grandfather. of past
Mm-hmm.
generation. So he didn't do
Right.
anything actually. He didn't make the gate, he doesn't make the water, but he was a reason he opened the gates. And maybe it's his job or duty even, or he did it on voluntarily. Then what happened? He diverted it to the fields maybe, or for people to use. So mind is also like that. Huh? So it's not like we are making the gate, we are not making the water, huh? But we open the gates in a proper direction. We also become a cause of it, huh? And we use all those causes, the gate, the water, all even the grandfathers and past generations are also reasons because they build it, right? And then we divert it into a proper cause. And finally, yeah, some people are very limited by their own thoughts, ideas, and views. They think like they cannot cross this border. Huh? I saw
Mm-hmm.
a horse tied up into a plastic chair. Uh, so it's a very strong animal, right? With the harness, like it's just tied up into a very subtle, like a light plastic chair. But
Yeah.
it thinks like it because it's so used to that being tied up to some place, it can carry the chair and run for miles, right? So likewise,
Yes.
people are sometimes very limited, and not only the danger is they don't let other people also go beyond those borders. It could be teachers, it could be spiritual. I used to have met, and then they said, no, no, son, it cannot be done. Then you ask like, why, sir? Like, even in the scriptures it is said so. Then he said like, you are too small, you don't understand, maybe you read too much. You just stay like that. Yeah, come on, no? Like if it's said, in the even the bigger teachers and all had really expressed like thousands of years, uh, why is he like limiting, no, himself
Yep.
and the others? So and there were sometimes like some senior people, like when you also talk, you hear in the background,
Mm-hmm.
cannot be so, like you hear them whispering. So then, like, come on, no, what is this? Like, why are you doing so? So even the people in the audience, they said, like, shh, you keep quiet, no? They understood, and they said, you keep quiet, and we want to listen to this what it said. So there are things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, yeah, there are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll move to the next one. I'm curious to understand what percentage of the mind's potential do most of us actually use, and how can we tap into the unused capacity, right?
Yeah,
Because human brain and mind so powerful. That is what
yeah,
people say. But
yeah,
we,
yeah.
my
Just
strong
like
gut feel is we are not using it fully, right?
surely, surely, Naveen.
Yeah.
Like you said, and then just like the example of the sun,
Mm-hmm.
we take very minimum use of the mind. So
Right.
we can say like basic maybe 10%. So on average maybe 20%. And people like intellectuals or people who are trying to do something like special help humanity and these kind of things, we can say like it's going upwards. Huh? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like the power of the sun. And if you have like a magnifying glass, you can get it centered, and get some use out of it, more use out of it, right?
Yeah.
But our energy is dispersed now. So that's why sometimes we don't feel comfortable, or we are not peaceful, we are not happy even. Uh, So, but we can tap into that energy. We can tap into that energy. And what happens when this little tiny magnifying glass becomes bigger and bigger, then the equipment becomes bigger, more energy, and you can extract or tap in from that energy and get so much use. The mind is so powerful, so fast, and people used to do miracles with the mind. So all this ancient history, they didn't have all this technology as said, no, like
Correct.
what we think, but they could do all those or even more with their minds now. So they didn't
Hmm.
need computers or anything. With the mind itself, they could do really. And they tell, even in the negative side, there were some even people like with the thought, they could even wipe off a village or some countless villages just by thinking of it. It's not a good thing, but think of the opposite side, right? If they can do destruction, what about the good side? So there were healers, uh, people, and who could do very special things just with the mind.
Right. Wonderful. So, is there a connection between the mind's power and also achieving some seemingly impossible goals?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yes, definitely. Yeah. We see people doing very incredible things.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
So you see, like even like in the worst of scenarios, no, like
Mm-hmm.
even people in war situations. Maybe you have seen there was a movie also, like of a person who didn't even want to hold a weapon, and he helped like dozens of people to save their lives. Huh? So
Yeah.
in a very bad war scenario, so humanity arises, and there are people even without holding a weapon. I think it was uh, called Hamburger Hill or some name like that. The movie, and this
Mm-hmm.
was a person he was ridiculed, even like asked to leave the, but he never wanted to hold a weapon even.
Hmm.
And yeah, they even the group because they were punished. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, they even assaulted him
Hmm.
because they also had to go to punishment because of one person. They because they all work as a team, right? So
Yeah.
so you see people like survivors and all, and definitely like people who are trying to help humanity. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
so you can see them even going, even like meeting people who have critical illnesses, and even in different professions also now.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, they do like even the inventions we are using now. Okay, we talk of AI and all these things, but even AI was created by a human mind. No, now we slowly are trying to depend on that, but the masterminds of that was a human mind, right?
Yeah.
It will gather a lot of information and maybe be better, try to become better than average human, but
Hmm.
still
Hmm.
human mind has so much potential. Only this can become blunt uh, because of we are depending on AI or technology, but our mind has so much potential.
Great. Okay. So here comes my next one. How can we prepare the younger generation to develop a healthier relationship with their minds?
Mhm. So we have to expose them to their true uh, potential now.
Okay.
Huh? Not
Mm-hmm.
just to give like a mobile, just to keep them quiet or occupied. The
Mm-hmm.
parents just give a mobile phone, and there are children in their sleep also they scroll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really,
That
it's
is a
kind of
sad
like,
thing.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
very damaging, and it makes them very blunt, and it can bring cancer. A lot of things. Now some countries are planning of banning things also
Correct.
until some certain age, no 16 or they say
Yeah.
even it's better to bring it to 18 even,
Right.
and they live in a virtual world which is not true. Huh?
Correct.
So this distance them, it makes them insensitive, uh, and even for the parents and all. And there are incidents like there were like very bad situations where lives were lost because of a video game, and they
Hmm.
were doing 10 hours of that, and it's like hypnosis, right? Or like or brainwashing. I'm not
Right.
telling every game is bad, but if you continuously, if you're addicted to that, there are many cases. Even there were young parents, they were playing video games, and then they neglected their child and they lost their child.
Yeah.
Huh? Or like, so then there were very bad crime incidents that occurred with young people. Huh? And they try to follow those things and try to do it in reality. And the worst thing is like they are so disconnected from everything, even the nature, everything. So it's so easy to be manipulated, uh, and like a puppet, right? Or you live like a life like a zombie, and then with that you can be manipulated and you can be put into anything. And there are some things like I have heard and seen the details, like people are like promoting them to end their lives even. So they were easily, it happened, huh? With some influencers also, like who are very famous, and people are cheering them, drink it, or take it, no? It's just like toxins.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely should like the bit far, not in a safe environment, but some first world countries are actually doing this now. We luckily we had that in our childhoods. Even the streets, if it was a city, we had trees and we used to jump
Yeah.
into like gardens or like fruit trees and no. But the village children were more blessed even. While they were going home, they could just jump into a river even also and play around and go. And that made them physically also strong, and mentally also they were so connected, no? Then there are people who hug trees now. So as children, like little monkey, when you are climbing a tree, you already hug the tree, right?
Yeah.
Huh? And
Yeah.
even if your mom scolds you with, you come like really like with all the mud and everything. But even if you get a scolding or a small beating, no? But later you go and hug the person, no? So there's so much connection there. But now when they are in this virtual reality with these devices and all, Naveen, would you believe there are some children, they just have outside time for 15 minutes only.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they come from the car, from home, and just for the college or something, they get down and walk,
Right.
and then they come back to the vehicle and come back home. And then they are in their virtual world or do the studies or classes or something. So
Oh,
maximum sentence inmate, uh, who's, they have at least 1 hour outside time. It's in a closed enclosure, but at least they see the sunlight and all. But they also have like 1 hour time. So these children, they are not in a situation like that, but they just have like average 15 minutes.
yeah.
So think of what will happen to them. So yeah, we should definitely expose them in a very safe way. uh, and some in some countries, now I spoke to some nice people. They have, in their classes, they have a time to be within a safe surrounding with safe people, to go and stay in nature. And some countries I saw, like even in the first years, they don't even use exams. They teach the basic things a human needs, which is very nice.
Yeah. See, one bizarre incident that I came across recently is a boy who is like about 12 to 13-year old in India, and he was playing video games on his phone, and his data pack has expired. So he wanted to grab his mother's mobile phone, but she denied. And keeping that grudge in mind, this boy has cut her mom's cheek when she was sleeping. It is so scary. So parents, whoever is watching this episode, please try to reduce the screen time of your kids. Take them out to a garden or park, make it a ritual, at least few days a week. That way they are away from the devices. But Sanjuna, I think you have given us very good information. So we are coming towards the end of the live session. If there is one message or insight you'd like the audience to remember from today's session, what would it be?
Yeah, please understand the true power of your own mind, because
Hmm.
you can make miracles happen and reach any goal, wholesome one, which you wish, or any destination. Yeah, so the mind has so much potential, and if you use it properly, you can reach any wholesome. No use you reaching unwholesome, right? So that is easily that can be done also, no? So, but we have so much power. You cannot even imagine the strength of the mind, and how it starts helping you if you use it in a proper way and guide it. and then it starts. It's so fast, so powerful, uh, and it can reach to heights like you have to just stop it and slow down and see if this is really happening. Really, so fast and so helpful also. Yeah, so that would be the message, Naveen.
Wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you once again, and thank you for sharing such powerful insights today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Naveen. It's always a pleasure. And I always like to say, like, this is so well organized. And yeah, you are helping so much people. And it's very nice to see, like, connecting and with even so many people now, no? So, and yeah, and how to say, like, so justly rewarded for that. Uh, it's a blessing. Yeah, the universe, the God,
Yeah.
everything should like. So yeah, I wish like you could keep this service and helping more humanity. And I wish you and everybody the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, thank you, Yogi Sanjeevana ji, and also those of you who are watching it live, or those of you who will be watching it later also. So, folks, remember this is just the third part of the series, and if you found value today, be sure to follow us for more episodes. So, we are going to do one episode every month as part of this Untold Side of the Mind live series. And remember, your mind has limitless potential, and all you need to do is unlock it. So before you go away, do let me know what is the best insight that you have liked from today's conversation. And also, if you have any questions to Yogi Sanjeevana, do let me know. I'll incorporate them in the future sessions. Thank you once again. Love you. Take care. All of you have a great Sunday, guys. Namaste.
Okay, thank you so much.
So you be here.
Wow. Automatically. Automatically. Awesome. So now in there's like a monthly subscription also for this. They charge a little bit more, right? Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I yes, yeah, I did in the background also. No? Okay, now thank you so much. Okay, have a great day. Yeah. Okay, see you.